GameRave.com, and this is Pause Mode. First and foremost, welcome to all of our new subscribers. Tell your friends we've got plenty of room in here. And Slurpees. Thanks to opening day and week in baseball world, I thought we'd take a day to honor our gloved and bat-wielding gamers who own Sega Saturns. Sports games on the Saturn held a fairly sizable chunk of the library, and despite the small size of said library, a pretty good variety as well was to be had. When I went to start doing the research on this episode, I was actually fairly shocked at the selection. I thought the Saturn had a dominant baseball library. Truth be told, there are 7 types of ball-based sports games that have at least 2 or more games on the system. The top 3 genres are actually tied at 9 games apiece, that being baseball, soccer, and basketball. Football is actually a distant second with just 6 games. So let's talk baseball, shall we? With the Saturn's short lifespan, Sega was the only publisher to squeak out a true series of games with World Series Baseball. A claim would have been heir to the throne as Frank Thomas' Big Heart Baseball gave way to All-Star Baseball, which ended up becoming a full-fledged series on the Nintendo 64, finishing up its life on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox systems. The 9 baseball games can be divided into 2 groups, 3D and 2D. Now, the Sega Saturn, despite its 3D troubles, was phenomenal in the 2D graphics department. Many of Saturn's 2D sports games seemed like high-definition Super Nintendo games, just with better Mode 7. That is, it had 2D characters, but a 3D playing field. The 3D baseball games would be World Series 98, 3D Baseball, Bases Loaded, and Bomb of the Ninth. The 2D, with or without a 3D field, were World Series 1 and 2, Grand Slam, Frank Thomas, and All-Star Baseball. Now, I've always preferred the 2D games to their newer counterparts. Most times the betting was simply a timing game rather than trying to guess the exact location of the ball, which made it easier to get into. Plus, like I said, it's a really good looking Super Nintendo game. It's like double nostalgia these days, and that's a great thing. If I had to pick one game I'd play out of all of them, it'd probably be World Series Baseball 2. There was just something I loved about the game's graphics, specifically its shading. The night games made it look like it was a broadcast from the late 70s or early 80s. Now, from a collecting standpoint, most games can be had for $3 to $10, with World Series 2 and 98 hovering around $15 each. There is one peculiar oddity, though, and that's 3D Baseball. On the PlayStation, the game averages about $4. On the Saturn, it's bouncing between $40 to $60. $60 for a 20-year-old baseball game? What the hell's going on? That said, we're done with this week's episode of Pause Mode. We'll see you guys all next week on Game Rave TV. Have a great weekend.